So, all right, fam, welcome to my channel. My name is Bowale Oyenuga, and in this video, we'll be looking at the online free resources you can use to pass AWS Solutions Certified Architect Associate Examination in 2022, and how to use them effectively within 6 weeks on your first try. Yes, I passed Solution Architect Associate on my first try, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So we'll choose the right resources to use, both the DOMs, the practice test, the materials, and all that. As we know that the AWS Certified Solution Architect Exam is one of the most popular, in demand, and respected cloud certifications. Before we dive further, I would like also to talk about the exam, just the overview. What we're talking about here is about the exam guide, and the blueprint, the free online resources, both videos and reading materials you need to have access to, and also lab. You have to run your lab, have an hands-on lab or projects or anything. Just ensure that you get your hands dirty. And also a free online practice test. So I used to tell my folks or my friends that if you want to try, just ensure that you understand concepts before diving into any practice test and all that, because it's the concept that you understand that will make you even answer some of the difficult questions you are going to come across. So about the exam. So AWS Solution Architect Associate is an exam that is quite in demand in the industry, and it can open doors of opportunities for you. And the exam is just 130 minutes of 65 questions, either multiple choice and or multiple response, and it's 150 US dollars. The beautiful aspect of this is that if you had done the cloud practitioner before taking this exam, you'll be given 50% discount for this exam. So you just have to pay 75 USD, which is pretty simple. You can do the exam in the comfort of your house, or go to a testing center. Either way, I did mine in the comfort of my room, and boom, it was perfect. So first thing you need to do before even getting your hands on any materials or anything is to first get the blueprint of the exam. For every examination I've done, the first thing I always look out for is the blueprints. In the blueprints, you have the blocks of area of focus you need to give attention to. So the AWS Solution Architect Associates is divided into 4 blocks, which is 4 domains. We have the design resilient architectures, we have the design high performing architecture, design secure application and architectures, and we have design cost optimized architectures. And you can see these are the blocks in the exam that constitute the overall percentage of the exam, and they have order of priority. You have to focus more on but it doesn't mean that you have to focus more on one than the other, because it's a mix of questions. You don't know, but you don't know which one to actually dive into, but it has been segregated there so that you can see the priority and the percentage attached to it. So you just have to get this fact and know about the different domain and what they constitute, so that it would ensure that you have a granular overview and what to expect when you're reading and when you're preparing for the exam. So it's quite important that you go through the blueprint or the exam guide, and the link will be dropped below for you to download the PDF file. So now let's go to the free online resources, both the reading materials and the videos that I used. The first online resource that I laid my hands on is the exam readiness the exam readiness material by AWS herself. You can have access to this at on Explore.Skillbuilder.aws. This is a very rich content in the fact that so I highlighted this architect learning plan. It gives you like a blueprint of what to read, and also in this you see the AWS well architected framework and exam readiness. Guys, it is very, very important that you are acquainted with the 5 pillars of the AWS framework, which is the architected framework. We have the resilience, security, operational excellence, and the other tools like that. So you have to ensure that you are acquainted with them, so that you can be able to, because these are the framework that guides and that ensures the best practices of executing project on AWS and all that. So it will across board, you'll be tested in these regards, in regards of resiliency, in regards of scalability, in regards of security, operational excellence, defining building for failure and all that. So it's quite important that you start your process of preparation on this with this content. Is very, very rich, and you are going to enjoy it. With exam readiness for AWS certified solution architect associate, it's a content that gives you tips of what to expect in the exam, how to decipher and be able to, the exam is quite, most of the answers of the exams are quite complicated. They are quite related, it's quite confusing. So you have to be able to know like the exact answer for the questions. And guys, the exams are lengthy, like the questions are actually lengthy. So you have to, you are given tips on how to navigate through the exams, what are the things you need to expect and all that. So please lay your hands on this and ensure that you start your journey by coming to the exam readiness portal or skill acquisition portal, so you can be able to have like an held on. Another thing, another online resource for me is YouTube. Most guys they bought materials online, which is quite good and which is fantastic. But I told myself I just want to utilize the few resources online, and I started with YouTube. FreeCodeCamp is one of the best learning center on YouTube. Anything you want to learn in technology, in cybersecurity, networking, FreeCodeCamp gives one of the best content. You can check them out. The links is below. So you can also start your journey using their content on YouTube. Is quite rich. Sincerely, it's quite rich, and you are going to be taken through the process of all the resources of AWS, the nitty-gritty of all that, because most times most videos are done and they didn't touch base on some of the nitty-gritty that you are going to face in the exam. But yeah, I found that most of the nitty-gritty of the exams that can easily be overlooked were touched, and and as you're reading, you're also jotting and also taking note of those important details in the exam. So check this out on YouTube. The links will be dropped. The next one is Micheal Gibbs. Micheal Gibbs has been in the industry for the past 24 years, building and teaching in the areas of technologies, most especially cloud. So I ensured that I utilized this resource just 5 hours. One of the things I don't like doing is I don't like using one materials for. I like comparing materials. So if I use FreeCodeCamp. I will use some other materials to also commensurate what I've read in the past. So I used this also to check the knowledge, because I know some of the services that were mentioned in the earlier video that I showed will also be iterated here. So with this, I'm able to get acquainted and familiarize my mind with those services and the content. So it's quite good. Check out this resource, which is Micheal Gibbs, Go Cloud Architect. Fantastic. The next one I used is ClayDesk e-learning. This is also quite rich and is very important. These videos are just one. The first one is maybe 10 hours long. The second one is 5 hours long, and this one also is like 10 hours long, and they are quite rich and they focus more on the exams, the things you need to know in the exams, some of the details of the AWS resources and services and how they are integrated together under the canopy of the well-architected framework and all that. So these are the resources that I used to ensure that I give attention to most of the things that were communicated in the videos. The next thing, the next resource you want to use is FAQs, which is frequently asked questions on AWS and the white papers. So when you click the link for the white papers, you want to filter to be able to streamline your reading, or your how you're reading. You want to streamline the content to services that are related to the exam. So which are compute, the containers, database, management and governance, migration, networking and content delivery, security, identity and compliance, then storage. So you have to filter this, and you don't necessarily have to read everything. If you have questions, if you are not really sure of how certain things work and all that, you can always come to this page, to the white papers and all that, and check them out. And some of the questions are also taken out of here. So you have to just check out if you don't understand. So maybe you read a question, maybe in the practice test or something, and you're not quite sure of the answer. You can come here. Maybe you saw some of the videos and you're not quite sure that you didn't really understand the concept explained. You can come to the white papers and frequently ask questions. It is a very rich content you need to use to also pass the exam. Another thing I used, or another resource I use, is also on the YouTube, which is AWS Preparation in 30 minutes. This is a very brief summary of the content of the study guide, or of the content of the AWS resource, in such a way that it was all the services resources, or AWS resources, all the details were distinctly highlighted and briefly communicated. So you can just, after you've watched the videos and all that, you can just come here. The link is down below, and just refresh your memory with this short video. It's quite rich, and I would recommend this after you've read and all that. In 6 weeks, the way I did it is that I as I'm reading, I dedicate like 4 hours a day in 5 days. 4 hours a day in 5 days. So as I'm reading, I can read for like 2 hours, then do the labs for maybe 1 hour, and do a practice test for 1 hour. You understand? So for each day, I ensure that I'm learning something. I'm learning new things, and I'm refreshing my mind and memory about things I've read. So 2 hours a day for reading and listening, and 1 hour for labbing and checking out, getting myself familiarize with the console, with AWS console and all that, and also 1 hour to do practice test that I will still show you in the coming exams, in the coming slide. Yeah, lab, guys. You really need to get your hands dirty, because some of the concepts you might not understand. Some of the concepts by just reading. You have to have a first-hand experience with them, and the way to do that is to lab. And AWS has done a very good and wonderful thing by giving AWS free tier. You know, you have free trials for some services. You have 12 months free from other service, and we have always free from but the concept here is that anything you need for the exam in terms of labbing and checking your experience with the AWS console and all that is under the free tier. You understand? You don't need to incur charges on some of the services as regarding the exam and labbing. You understand? But I had to incur charges because I did more than that. I created some projects. I bought domains from my website. I played with RAD 53, CloudFront, EC2 instances and all that, and so I was able to to get, if you want to get more out of it, some of the services, how it works. There are some that are not quite free, but you have to know that you have free trials for some services and always free for some services, and they covered that covers you for the exam. And these are the services. We have the Amazon EC2, Amazon S3 and all that. These are what you can use when you're doing the lab, and you should always know that whenever you're done with a lab, always clean up, always delete anything that you created, because if you don't do that, you might incur charges. So you have to know that these are sufficient. This is very sufficient for the exam, and to get hands-on experience and knowledge in that regard. Another site for one of the best sites you want to use for labbing is well-architected labs.com. Yeah, this site is very rich. Sincerely, a group of developers they have developed this site so that it can suit your learning process and also ensure that you get first-hand experience with AWS. And it covers the well-architected framework, the operational excellence, security, reliability, performance, efficiency, cost optimization. Anything you need to know, is quite rich. You need to check it out, and it's from easy. It's staged in a way that you can start from easy level to hard level. From 100. We have 100 level, 200, 300, and 400, in that sequence. So it's quite rich. Sincerely, you need to get your hands on this and lab. And one of the things I did is that I went extra mile to ensure that I got real knowledge. Not just, I wasn't only preparing for the exam, I was preparing to understand those concepts and to be able to use them in real life scenarios. So I did some of the labs here also, which is workshops, AWS. This is not quite related to the exam. It's just some projects some projects you can work with. You understand, to have a rich concept and understanding of how AWS works. So this is a site where you can develop some basic projects, or that you can actually follow through and be able to get more understanding. I did some of these projects during my learning process. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do this because this would incur more charges on AWS. So, guys, you need to check out Mukhtar Kabir on YouTube. Wow, Mukhtar Kabir's content changed the game for me. Sincerely. I think in 2022, he started a series on educating people on tech guys on AWS, and he started doing this video once a week, and he had like 17 weeks, like 1 hour a day, 17 weeks, you understand? And those videos are right on YouTube, and this actually helped me in my process of learning. Sincerely, you need to check this out, because as he was doing it, it makes building projects on AWS seamless. When you visit some labs, this doing projects on like hosting a website on S3 bucket and EC2 instance became real to me because of this approach to teaching, and his approach to wanting to impact knowledge. So the link to this to his YouTube channel I'll drop. Just check him out. Is fantastic. He's going to change the game for you if you follow through all the things that he teaches. So guys, free online practice test. Wow, this is one of the parts that you want to give concentration to. After you've read, after you've labbed, you need to also now test yourself before you test yourself in the exam, before Amazon tests you. That's what I'm saying. So you need to get your hands on online practice test. Some people bought online practice tests on Udemy and other platforms, but I decided to go free. You understand? And also because I didn't just read to pass the exam. I read to also have knowledge and also understand concepts. So to an extent, I had confidence to just use this free online practice test, and which are quite good. If you use this practice test effectively, you would understand, because as you some of the practice tests will give you like explanation of some of the concepts to the questions you just answered. You understand? Whether you answer them right or wrong, you have basic explanation for them, which is quite fine. The first one is Qubit 42. Guys, there is a bank of questions, or there's a bank of exam questions on this site, not just AWS, not just architect associate, other exams as well. And you can choose, you have privilege to like 200 questions with explanations here. So guys, reach out to this site and check out the questions. Though most times, most of the answers to these questions are not right, and that's why you have to be careful when you are answering questions. When you see a question, that's why you have to have read, you have to have studied, you have to have labbed and all that, so that you can always be careful when selecting an answer on most of these sites. So kindly visit Qubit 42 site and check out the exam question bank. Another site that you want to also visit is the SkillBuilder.aws. The official practice question is like, I think it's like 20 questions in this exam, on this site. And on this site, there's no explanation. You just have to, test your knowledge here. Test your knowledge, and you are going to be graded. You get what I'm saying? You are going to be graded, and it's very important that you've read, you've studied and all that before coming here, because you would feel bad if you actually score lesser than the cutoff mark here. It's a practice, though it's a practice questions, and they are all practice questions and all that, but you have to give your best in ensuring that you do well in this area. So the link will be dropped in the comment section. Another site, which is a very beautiful and rich site, is Exam Topic. Guys, Exam Topics. Though on Exam Topics, you have to maybe sign up, so that you won't be checked frequently. And also on Exam Topics, we have like 500 questions, or yeah, as you can see on the page, we have like 577 questions, but you only have access to 300 or 350 questions. And for you to be able to have access to the rest, you have to subscribe to their contributor access. But guys, one of the things you need to know is that on exam topics, the questions are quite similar to what you are going to be expecting in the exam. Not all questions in this place will come out, because when I did my exam, almost 40 questions, or almost for like, I would say like 70% of the questions I haven't seen before. So I had to just sit down and start start reading the questions and start thinking on the spot. Based on what I've studied and all that, the concept I understood, I was able to to navigate through. Some few questions came out which I practice from the practice test that I've attended to and all that. So the aim of practice test is not to replicate what is not to see a replicated questions, for you to understand the concepts. So this is quite good. You have to check it out, and they have a discussion tab whereby some questions that are not right are being discussed and the right answer are being given. Another thing I did is I downloaded this app on my phone, which is AWS Certified Solution Architect app. This is a fantastic app. Sincerely, it has been segregated into the four domain of the exams. And you need to know, this actually helped me, because some of the nitty-gritty of safeties, like details that I'm not acquainted with, I was able to check them out, and it actually helped me. So you need to download this on Play Store to also help your learning process. I wish you the best. Good luck in your exam. Cheers.